All right, guys, here we go again. So, in the last part, we set all this up, and here's our Discord, where we also created the bot, and here it is. Right now, it doesn't do anything. It's kind of useless. But yeah, we will make it better. So, before moving forward, as we said, we will keep improving our handler. So, first of all, maybe you also noticed that this doesn't look good. Like, our token is visible in the main file, which is not good, right? We need to secure it. So for that, we will use a .env file. And what is .env? env is a file where we store our sensitive data like tokens or API keys in a secure way. So to install it, we will first open our terminal. It's already open here. If yours isn't, then go here and open a new terminal. And yes, if this looks a bit different from the last episode, don't worry. I just changed some icons and theme, nothing else, okay? So, to install, we'll run npm install .env, and it will install in just a bit. Now we have to create a .env file in the root of our project. So, I will click here and create a file named .env. And now, in this file, we will add the credentials that we want to keep secure, which I will explain later. But for now, we only need to store our bot token. So I'll write bot token here. And again, it doesn't matter how you name it. You can name it anything, but I'll just call it bot token. And then using equal to, I'll paste the bot token here, which I'll copy from Discord and then paste it here in .env and save the file. And now, to use .env in our main file, we need to require .env like this. And now we can access everything saved in our .env file. Now I'll remove the token from here and replace it with process.env and the name we used there, which is bot token. So I'll just write that and save the file. And now when I run it, you can see nothing changed. It's still online. That means it is fetching the token from .env correctly. So, very good. Now this is more secure and better. All right, guys. So now let's move forward. Okay, so we've made the bot, but like it doesn't really do anything. Let me make it online. Wait, yeah. So it's online now, but you see like it's just online. If I send something here, it doesn't react. Okay, so now for example, we want that whenever we write, hey, the bot should reply, right? So for that, we'll need to write some code, which we'll do now. But before that, I want to explain a bit more about this code. Like what options are available inside client, and how do we even know that? So for that, we'll now learn how to read the documentation just a little, not too much because it can get difficult. So here we have the discord.js documentation, and here is another discord.js guide, so I suggest all of you to definitely check out this guide. It's very awesome and very easy to understand. We'll definitely look at it in some video, maybe even in this one if needed. Well, let's get back to the docs. Okay? So now, there's a lot here, and you can select your discord.js version from here. We're already on the latest one. So it's fine. What's already selected. Okay? So now if you want to understand something, you just search for it. We'll click here, or press Ctrl+K or Command+K if you're on Mac, and that will open the search bar. And now we'll search for whatever we want. So for example, we want to learn about client, so we'll write client here. And here it's showing. Now we'll click on this and here. So don't be scared. Looking at this, we won't go too deep. So at the top, it tells us that this is a class named client. And if you haven't watched my JavaScript series, go watch it. I've explained this in that. And here it says it extends from base client, so that doesn't matter much. But yeah. Then after that, leave that too. Otherwise you'll get confused, which I don't want for beginners. Then there's a small description here saying, client is the main hub for interacting with the Discord API, and the starting point for any bot, which is exactly what we've done. Okay, then we have a table of contents in which we mostly get three things. Properties, methods, and events. So properties are things that are available inside the client, which we can see here. like client has access to applications, channels, emojis, guilds, token, and many things. And also bot uptime here. Then methods tell us what the client can do. So for example, here it can delete webhooks, destroy is used to disconnect the bot, and many other things like fetch guild template, fetch invites, and even generate sticker invites. And here is login, which we've already used. And then once we've also used this, so that shows here too, like all these methods are available. Then we have events. Events mean on what things the client can react. So here also, there's a lot, like when application command permissions are updated, when a channel is created or deleted, emoji update or create or delete, when there's an error or when a ban is added, and one more thing, when message create happens, which we'll use today. Here it is, somewhere, yes here, and more yes here. You see ready, which we used. So it means like when the client was ready, we detected it and executed code. So all this again is just a quick look so that you guys get familiar, and we'll definitely explore it more, but not right now. So now we come back to our code, and like we said, we want that. When we say hi or send a message, the bot should reply, right? So let's write that code now. Okay, so just like we saw to detect messages, we will use the message create event. But before that, we also saw another method in the docs, which was the on method. So now we'll come here and write client dot on, and then inside that, we'll give the event name. So we'll write message create, and then inside the brackets, we'll write message. And here you can write anything. This is the thing that will give us all the properties that we will use. Just think of it as the message, the user typed, and then we'll open an arrow function, and inside that, we'll write our code. So what we've written till now means when a message is sent in the server, the bot will detect it and give us that message. And now we'll write what we want to do with it. So for now, we'll simply reply using message.reply. And in the brackets, we'll write, hey, this is me. So again, this message means the message the user sent, and .reply is used to reply to it. But yeah, you might ask, how do we know about these options? So again, we'll go to the docs and search for message create. And it will show up first as message create options. And here you see reply. And there are also many other things you can use. For example, if you want to get the content of the message, the user typed, we can use the content property, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so now when we go to Discord, but first, make sure to restart the bot. And now, if I type anything like hi, so here, you see it's replying. Very nice. And congrats. Your bot is now doing something. But wait, what's this? The bot keeps sending messages again and again. Now let's understand why that's happening. So here we wrote that. Whenever a message is created, the client should detect it and reply to that message. Right? So now let's go to Discord. And here you see a message was created. The bot replied to it. And that reply is also a message which was created. And again, the bot replied to that. And so when a loop started, but now we need to find a solution for this, right? So for that, we'll say that if the message was sent by the bot, then don't reply. So how do we check that? For this, we'll open the docs again. And here we don't see that option because this is message. Create options. We should search for message itself. So let's just search for message. So here I type message, and yes, we got it. Now, there are a lot of properties and methods here. So now in the properties, we can see things like application ID, attachments, and author. This one is useful because using this, we can check who sent the message, whether it was a bot or a real person. Then we also have channel, channel ID, and many other things. In the methods section, we can delete messages, edit messages, and many other actions. So you guys can explore this a bit on your own. Okay, so now we want to check whether the message sender is a bot, and if it is, then don't reply. So from the properties, we know we'll use author, but how do we check if it's a bot or a real person? So for that, we'll click on author and we'll get more properties. So here you can see it says the author of the message. So we'll now click on user, and here inside author we get all these properties and methods like accent, color, avatar, decoration, banner, and here is bot. This is how we can check if the message author is a bot or not. And again, you can explore and use the other properties as well. All right, so now we know what to do. So we'll go back to our code and write this line. If message author bot, return. This means that if the author of the message is a bot, then just return. Return means the code will stop there and won't continue if the condition is true. So now, let's go to Discord and type a message. And now you can see it. Only replies once. No infinite loop. All right. So that's it for this video. I hope we learned a lot today as well. And yeah, make sure to practice on your own. And definitely join our Discord server, because we keep having coding challenges, events, and giveaways. Also, if you ever need any help related to coding, our team is always ready to assist you.